This is our cringe-worthy chemistry video.
Hello kids, welcome to Alex's Crucible classes. I have Terrell here. We're going to teach him how to use the Crucible tongs properly. So these are Crucible tongs, and today we're going to be teaching Terrell how to use them. Basically, Terrell, go ahead and try to use these Crucible tongs right now. Try to use it.
Just that. Yeah, like that.
Nope, that's not. Well, all the stuff is going to spill out.
Well.
So all you're going to want to do is open up your Crucible tongs and slip this hole around the crucible. Now, it should be small enough for the crucible to be able to lift it right up.
Oh boy, this is how you do it.
Now this is how it will go in the lab. As you can see, we have our clay triangle and our Bunsen burner set up. Now this stuff is going to be hot. So initially, the way you're going to want to put it in is right in here, right inside this triangle. Now during the lab, this is how it should look. Just like this, except obviously there'll be fire burning and sulfate inside. But when you are done with the lab and you're taking the measurements or making observations, you're just gonna want to do what we did before. Wrap the tongs around the crucible, gently lift it, and bring it down onto the surface. And that is how you use the crucible tongs. There's a bunch of safety requirements, since we are using some dangerous material. Now first and foremost, what you're going to need are some gloves. Now the reason you're going to need these gloves is because what we're using, this sulfate here, another thing you're going to need are goggles. Now what we're going to be using here is, this is going to stain your skin if it gets on. So we're going to want to be pretty careful with this. So when you're handling it, once it's outside the package, you're going to want to use these gloves. Now we're going to be using this setup right here. Your ring stand, your ring, a Bunsen burner, so that's another reason for gloves, and goggles is because it's going to be hot, and this triangle, this clay triangle that we're being introduced to here. Since we're going to be heating stuff up, it's very important to be safe around fire. Don't have your hair out. Don't wear loose clothing. Anyways, now you can use the good goggles, the ones that you should always use, or you can use the Terrell goggles, these swag ones, if you will.
Swag.
Yeah, swag goggles. So that's the basics of what you're going to need in terms of safety with this lab. We can get on to the fun stuff, the actual lab. Now, first and foremost, we're not going to need these anymore. This bee genie catches you sitting in one of these chairs. It's going to be bad news for you. So, first thing we're going to start off with is just the crucible. So, first thing you're going to want to do in terms of the crucible is you're going to want to light the Bunsen burner and heat the crucible in order to remove any remaining moisture from a previous lab. If you're first period, well dang, you're lucky. Now first thing you're going to want to do is receive the material from your teacher. Set this off to the side in a mortar pestle and have it ground up by one of your table mates. Now, while your table mate is doing that, it's up to the rest of your team to light the Bunsen burner and heat the crucible. Now to do that, you come over here after Miss Genie has turned on the gas, and you want to turn this 90 degrees. And you can already hear the gas. So Terrell, don't want to get your hand too close to it, so just kind of take it to the side and let the gas catch the flame. And there we go. So, simple adjustments here. This will adjust the amount of oxygen. It will basically adjust the outtake of the flame. So you're going to want to adjust it until it is about here. Not too hot, not bringing up too much of a flame. So next thing you want to do is, of course this is burning, so you're going to want to use your crucible tongs and place your crucible into this clay triangle. Now go ahead and let it heat for about 3 minutes and then take it off and mass it. It's been 3 minutes and we've gone ahead and lit this crucible. So once again, you're going to just want to take your crucible tongs and lift the crucible out of the flame. Now carefully bring it over to the scale. Go ahead and place it right next to the scale and just let it cool for a bit. Turn off this Bunsen burner by just turning on the gas. So once it is cooled, go ahead and place it on here. Now first thing you're going to want to do is zero out the scale.
And what we're going to want to do is measure the crucible with the substance. Let's shoot for 11 grams.
So you guys have measured out the sulfate already?
Yeah.
So, like I demonstrated earlier, we're going to want to relight this flame. So Terrell, you still have your lighter?
Yeah.
Alright, so once again, turn the gas 90 degrees and get the flame, and there we go. We have fired. So now what you're going to want to do is adjust the flame as we did before. So if there are adjustments that need to be made, and make them, that's not right. There we go. Nice gentle flame as we had before. Now Terrell, you're going to have the honors of taking the crucible tongs and putting the crucible in the triangle.
Sweet.
And there we go. So now, while this is heating up, try to get a good glance at what is happening in the meantime and record observations in your notebook. But you're going to want to let this heat for 3 minutes, just like the crucible the first time, and take observations.
See, the outer edge of the substance is turning white.
That's because the water molecules are being driven off. On here until everything turns completely white. As you can see, there's only a little bit of blue, a little bit of baby blue left in the center. So, almost all the blue is gone now. And also, you want to be very observant of the substance because you don't want it to burn. I mean, having it burn is probably the worst thing you could have happen because you're going to have to restart the entire lab. All water molecules are gone. It's just white with a bit of green, but that's normal. So, with your crucible tongs, you're going to want to go ahead and wrap around the crucible and bring it back down onto the table. So to turn off the flame, simply come over here to the gas, turn it all the way 90 degrees, and you won't be able to go any farther either way. All you need to do is to let it sit, let it cool, take more observations, get your last thoughts finished up, maybe exchange the data tables, get the rest of the data you need. And finally, once it is cool, we will weigh it.
Now for the conclusions. Con mean you can con your teammates into doing the calculation so you don't have to deal with all the math. Clue for getting a clue of actually what you did in the lab. And gens, well, conclusions doesn't really need the gens at the end.